Hey everybody, Merry Christmas. I'm going to make a little Christmas video for my friend 4Reach on Spay Pages. He asked about casting left-handed and wanted to know if somebody would make him a video. So I thought, well, he's got the balls to cast in front of everybody and be critiqued. So I'm going to reward that by doing some pantomime casting because everything here is just froze plumb solid, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about pantomime casting. And that's just casting with a stick or the bottom section of your spay rod. And it's really not good for a whole lot except to study where your hand positions are. I'll try to show how a few casts might be, but I can't feel the load of the line on my rod necessarily. So it's not gonna be like real casting, but it is good in that it's a good study aid to double check where your hand positions are if you're trying to learn a certain style. So when I was learning Scandinavian casting and it was mostly right-handed, I had a problem of I do my lift for a single spay, I do my lift, and then when I went to sweep, I was just sweeping to here, and I really wasn't getting any rod angle back here where I wanted to be. So I would just lift and then sweep, and I'd be casting with my rod like this and my hands in close, and no matter how it felt, it felt okay, but until I went over the cast on video and then paid strict attention to where my hands were with the pantomime, with any stick I had at the time, because I'd be at work and I'd be like, why is my backstroke so short and up like this? Until I finally realized I needed to keep my elbows in front of me, my bottom hand out, and this is a totally foreign feeling if you've casted like this all the time, which is how I used to cast, and I didn't understand that you wanted to keep everything in front of you as far as your hands on the rod. And so I would cast, I'd lift and then use my arms and get everything way back here. So when I switched over, I had a hard time getting from here to here, keeping my elbows in front and keeping my bottom hand extended because it felt so foreign. And the only way I figured it out was through picking up a stick and just going over and over and over it through video and through pantomime until I finally got it figured out. It just took a lot of practice. That's another thing I'll say. If you want to get good, reading all the articles, watching all the videos is only going to get you so far. You have to spend time on the water practicing over and over and over and over. It takes hours and hours and hours to get really good. Not that I'm really good, but I'm striving to be at a point where I'm improving. And it takes a lot of time on the water. That's the only way. That's the number one spay casting tip I can give you. Practice as much as possible and practice on the water. Practice, cut the fly off or cut the hook off the fly and stand in one place and practice for hours if you want to get good. If you just want to get good enough to fish, then that's cool too. So 4Reach wanted me to, he wants somebody to show him how to cast left-handed, and it's basically the same thing as right-handed, only from the video I saw of him, he was doing a switch cast. He called it underhand, which was fine, but it was more of just a traditional or Scandi cast. It was not Gordon Anderson underhand. And he's lifting the rod, nice. Maybe a little too fast, but nice. Coming back with the sweep and rocking his body good, and then casting forward, but not putting a whole lot of arm motion into it, which was fine. He was casting it out. That was fine. It wasn't bad. But to improve that, I would say this. You got to point in the direction you want to cast, and then you got to twist your body to the target. Okay? So, here is for Scandinavian casting, left-handed for reach, if that's what your name is really called. You start with your hands here, which you did a good job in your video, and then lift slow across your body. Then for the sweep, you push out with your bottom hand, rotate your body, and then after the sweep, you're gonna lift up and circle up to cast. You go from the sweep with your body, lift, push, sweep, circle up, and then on your forward cast, pull down and like that. Your forward cast, you are a little more like not really casting. You were using your bottom hand good, but you want to make sure that you, when you cast, you pull down with the bottom hand and pull down with the top hand too, and then you got to stop the rod with your top hand. So left-handed, it would look like this: lift, push, rotate, drift, boom, stop the rod. For underhand, you would start with your hands closer together, hand on your body, face the target, and then twist to the direction of the dangle. You're going to lift up, keep your hand on your body, and then you're going to rotate like this. And when the rod crosses in front of your face, between your face and the target, you're going to do a half circle with your bottom hand and fire. You still got to stop it with your top hand. So it's lift, twist, half circle with your bottom hand, stop the rod. That's basically the best I can do for you. It'd probably look a lot different if I had, well, number one, I'm not that great with my left hand, but it would probably, for pantomime casting, that's about the best I can do as far as rod position and basically what the hands are gonna look like. Okay, Scandi casting, lift, push, drift, sweep, drift, and you got it. When you drift up, you can't drift too straight up with the rod. Okay, you wanna drift and keep that nice wide casting angle, and then forward cast, boom. If it's a longer line, boom, something like that. I don't know. I'd have to have the line on there to tell you. Okay, so anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Practice your casting. Remember, the number one tip that's going to help you is to practice. But pantomime casting is helpful. You can do it in the mirror, do it in front of a camera, really study your casting, and it'll help you to get to a higher level, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Thank you everybody who watches my videos. I'll probably look at this on video and it might not look all that great, but anyway, I'll learn from it too then, and then if we're all learning, we're all doing really good. So Merry Christmas and thank you for watching Lion Speed Jedi.